How's it going, guys? Miatas man here. Today I want to show you how to press in ARP studs into your stock hubs. These ones here, I know the 94 to 05s have two different sizes, which goes with the splines. The 90 to 93 uses all four the same at all four corners. So I'm going to show you how to press them into one, and let's have at it. I decided to go with the Timkins. I was recommended them. They seem like a decent brand, and for the price wise, they weren't like low end. With hubs, you want to probably spend a little more money on them just to make sure you got good quality. Nobody needs a wheel falling off the bus. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a regular socket. I'm just going to go right off the back of the hub like so. So that way this is into the opening. Put it into my bench vise, start tightening it down, and it should actually work much like a press and just pop it out. So here it goes. There goes our first one. Popped out, it kind of jumped out at me. So there we go. There we have it. Bare hub. Okay, so now that we got our blank hub with no studs in it, we're going to take our ARP, slide it back in, and I actually, because my socket was not long enough for this, I'm going to use a BMX bike peg. Seems to fit within my bench vise pretty good. This was a horrible idea, so this didn't work out really good at all. As you can see, it was kind of angled. It started to press this in, and it just wouldn't go past that with leverage. I used a sprinkler pipe on the handle of the bench vise, and it was not liking it. So it's definitely something that's going to be a press fitting. It's meant to go in a press. So we're going to do it the right way, and we'll get right back to you with that. Alrighty, now we got 50-ton battleship press. They don't make them like they used to. And this thing should get them in like butter. That's a lot easier. A lot better on this hand. A lot stronger, more room for spacers, whatever you want. Overall better. Alrighty. It's time to get the car up in the air. Get those wheel bearings on, so have at it. Alright, so we get the car in the air. Now we're going to pull off the front wheels and go from there. It might be hard to see. It's all ash from the California wildfires right now. We're in Massachusetts. It's carried all the way across the country. Unbelievable. Okay, so next we're going to want to remove our brake caliper and our rotor, which, once again, 14 millimeter, 2 at the back. You want to remove the whole caliper assembly, and then that'll come off as one piece. And then obviously you don't want to leave it hanging by your brake line. So we're going to tuck it somewhere up in here. If you have any issues removing your caliper, sometimes they get stuck on here, you want to hit it in these areas here, not on your rotor face, because obviously that'll warp out your rotors or leave marks. Makes for really bad pedal feel. So basically what you want to do is tap in there. Whoop! Blooper reel. Alright, tuck that back in there. So if these are fighting you at all, like mine is, get a little PB blaster on there. A little lube goes a long way. Make sure you don't get it on the face, because lube on the brakes is no good. There we have it. One rotor off. Okay, so next you're going to want to take a chisel We pop off this actually right here is a dust cap. So you're going to want to pop that off, and underneath will be a nut to remove the whole hub assembly. And there we have it. So now you can see this nut has a knock-in area, so we're going to want to knock that back out, and then we can take the nut off. Okay, so this nut here is a 29, and if you don't have a 29, I actually have an 1.125", which seems to work pretty well. So we're just gonna hop on that with the 1.125" and see if we can break it loose. Might need some leverage for this one. You know, go grab a pipe. There we have it. There's your old one removed. Now, because I'm going with newer, bigger brakes, I'm actually going to be removing these dust covers here. Obviously, if you're not running bigger, new brakes, probably leave those in place, but here goes nothing. These are, what appears to be a 12mm. And that is a 12mm. And that simply just comes right off. We're actually going to put the bolts back in just because you don't want to get any rust up in there or anything like that. Could always leave them out for the hell of weight reduction, but I figure if I got hardware there, I should probably put it back where it came from. Okay, so we're just going to hop in here and clean up the spindle a little bit. Make sure there's no real serious wear. As you can see while I was down in here, it looks like I need a new ball joint. The boot on this one is torn pretty bad. So we're going to clean it, and then we're just going to throw some more, this looks like moly grease. We're going to throw a little dab of that on there. Okay, so next we're going to take our newly pressed in stud hub. All we got to do is simply slide it on. And there we have it. Make sure you don't want any like play or anything in that. It feels pretty good to me. Pop this nut back on. Now, from what I've read, this nut goes to 140 foot-pounds at factory torque specs. We're going to grab our torque wrench and go for that. Okay, so a lot of the tools I have, I've been living off of ramen noodles for the last 3 years. Obviously, these are high-quality parts. My finances aren't in the best spot. I look more towards getting my car done than anything else. So I have this right here. It's a Pittsburgh tool, Harbor Freight special, whatever gets the job done. You know, this was 10 bucks. How accurate it is, I can't necessarily say, but it's better than just throwing ogadogas on it and not having any type of measurement whatsoever. So we put this to 140 and we'll have at it until it clicks. And that's 140. Okay, so next we're going to want to take a chisel and hop right in here and just knock this nut back in, so that way it just has no way of unturning itself once you put the hub dust cap back on. And there you go. No way that's moving unless you hit it out. Next, take a dust cap, give that a light. Work your way around the edge all the way around and it'll slowly work itself in. You don't want to go bashing this thing because you'll dent it right in. You just want to go until this is flushed back in, which there's a little gap there. You can see there now it's completely flush. Okay, so next up, you're going to want to put your rotor back on. If you got any grease or oil on the contact surface of your hub, you want to clean that off with some brake parts cleaner. Don't want it smelling when you're going for your test drive, and also if you get like a slick pedal, next thing you know you hit the brakes and the brakes aren't there. That's scary stuff. So, alright, we're going to pop that puppy right on there, like so. Then grab our caliper, and reinstall this with the two 14mm that are on the backside. Okay, so last but not least, you don't want to put your wheel back on, and make sure when you put this on you torque it to spec, but after you go for like maybe say a 15-minute drive, maybe even a little more, make sure you come back and retorque them, because they're new studs and sometimes they stretch, sometimes they're not seated all the way. You get them to the torque spec you want, but then vibrations from the road and everything, it can loosen back up a little bit. You just want to go around all four corners and just make sure that your wheels are not going to fall off the bus, because you've replaced things that could make that happen. But yep, we'll hop on that, throw the legs on, torque them, and you're all set. Basically this side here, exact same but mirrored for the other side, much like a lot of the other things I've shown recently. Everything's the same over here as there, just flipped. Same stuff. The hubs, they're not direct side only, they're interchangeable. You can run a right on a left or a left on a right, because there is no right or left. It's just on the car that they're put. So that's that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you learned something, throw a like, share, and subscribe. Catch you in the next one.